Okay, I don't have much time, but I want to do a little short video. Maybe you guys know this stuff, maybe you don't. I don't know, but I'm going to show you how I set up. I kind of, Catherine asked me to go through the roles and the channels and make sure nobody could get into Pi that wasn't supposed to. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And I think I know it's different than how I was doing it. It might be different than how you were doing it, or you might already know this, but I want to make sure this gets out there. So the first step is to, of course, create all the roles that you want and give those roles the permissions that you want them to have. That's the first step. And I think we were all doing that anyway. One thing that I did different, and don't get excited, I'll explain to you why. I didn't give everyone any permissions. Okay? You'll see why I did that in just a moment. Then the next step is not to go to the channel and click on the gear and set the permissions there. That's not the correct way to do it. The correct way to do it is to go to where the heading is. There's another name for that I can't remember, but if you go to the heading, so voice channels, M&P live trading, whatever it is, you right click on that and edit that category, and then you give that the permissions that you want it to have. Now on these roles, you should leave everything with the slash. If you have the slash checked, it will bring in the permission that the role has set in it. The only reason to change any of those is to override them. So in the welcome channel, everyone has no permissions, but we want new people that just came into our Discord that haven't had a role attached to them yet to be able to read the welcome channels and the welcome channels message history. I mean, we can't have them not be able to do anything. And that's stuff that we want them to read when they get in there. So that's the only place they're going to be able to go. That's the only place they're going to be able to read. Now you can, what I did is on the all meeting classroom, thinking that Catherine might want to show those people around and have a meeting with them. Then I enabled send messages for everyone. All these other people, they have their roles set. They can all get in there and do what they want to do. But for the new people that just arrived, that only have everyone, haven't been assigned a role, then they can go into the welcome channel. They can read everything. If Catherine has an introductory meeting in the classroom, they can send messages. And so that's how you override what you establish up here in the heading. If you don't take everyone is in every channel. And if you don't lock that down to where they have no rights and then give them rights on a case-by-case basis, they're going to be able to see Pi. And we don't want that. So that's how I went through and did it. That's the way to do it. So I'll give you another example. Here's the Club M&P. I right click. I go to edit. I go to permissions. Everybody can see in the M&P, or I mean in the newbie channel. Club M&P newbie. Everything gets in Club M&P newbie. Everybody can see it. PiGrads, M&P Pro, newbies, admin, and then the everyone channel has no rights because I changed that in the role. Okay. So if I'm setting that up next, I go to each one of these and I go to permissions. Now let me do that slower. I set the permissions in the Club M&P newbie. Then I go to a specific channel in Club M&P newbie. I click the little gear. I go to permissions, and this says permissions have been synced with Club M&P newbie. That's what I just showed you that I set up. If this is Oh, let's just go in here and I'll go in here and I'll remove PyGrad. Okay, now it's not synced. I want this channel to have the same permissions as the Club M&P Newbie permissions that I set up in the overall heading. But it doesn't because I just took the PyGrads out. All I have to do is hit sync now, and it has exactly the same settings as I set when I right-clicked on M&P Newbie, went to edit, and then went to permissions. Okay? So when I go into a channel under this heading, Club M&P Newbie, and click on the gear, click on the permissions, I either have it synced, which is the way 90% of them will be, or I make changes on a case-by-case basis. Why would I do that? Let's look at the resources. We don't want everybody posting every little freaking thing in the resources. We want to kind of have some control over that. So if you look at those permissions, they are not synced. They have everyone, which has no rights in there, and admin. And, you know, I'm wondering I should probably add teachers to that. I can add strategist to that. And probably, you know, the girl club here would probably like the wing women. You know, doesn't offend me. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm good with it. I can handle it. Okay. So there's the resources. We have some people that can go in there and put resources in there and manage it, but we don't have everybody in there posting a bunch of crap in there, yada, yada, yada. But what we have to do is we have to change everyone, since there aren't any other roles in here like Pi and M&P, then those people can't even get in there and download things unless we give them read and read history. Now they can't post in there. We don't need to add Pi. We don't need to add all those people because we have everyone, and we just change their permissions on a case-by-case basis, which means in the resources, we want them to be able to go in there and download resources, right? But we don't need them sending messages in there and putting emojis on everything and getting it all ugly looking. We want it nice and neat with just links, easy to go through. So we have these people that can manage it, and Catherine can change that if she doesn't like the way that's set up. That's fine. But then in everyone, when we lock something down where we don't have Pi, M&P, newbies roles in here, then we go to everyone and we let everyone be able to get in here like they want to do. So that's how that works. Let's go down to the Pi channels and look at the Pi resources. Okay. Now everyone is still locked down. Okay. So we have these people that can go in and manage it. We don't want to give everybody the ability to read messages and download stuff because it's Pi, right? So we're going to add PyGrads, okay? But we still don't want the PyGrads can be not behave that well themselves, and they're going to have all those rights to go in there and write messages and put emojis all over all the resources that we put in there. We don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and do a custom PyGrads. We'll get, and you wouldn't have to check this because they have it, but it just makes it a little bit easy to see, you know, what you've done. We don't want them throwing links in there, all that stuff. We want them to be able to read message history. We don't want to mention in everyone. We don't want them doing all that. So now we have the Pi resources, the teachers, the wing women, the strategists, the admin can all get in there and do what they do, whatever their permissions are set at. If and then everyone is all locked down. We added the Pi grads, but we didn't let them have everything. We just let them have what we wanted in this particular case. Now, if say Catherine decides that the strategist shouldn't get the ability to manage the resources for Pi, okay, fine. Maybe she's got some M&P people in strategist. I don't know. You know, the way to do that would be to either delete, and because I don't know who has those rights, and I don't know who has those rights, I probably should delete them for now and just leave that to admin. Maybe that. So see how you can control. Oops, sorry. See how you can control who has these rights. I know she's got some wing women that are not Pi, so we'll take them out. But if the wing women and the strategist are Pi grads, well, then they'll be able to go in there and look at the resources, read them, and I'm assuming download them. I don't even know about the teachers, so I'm going to take that out. I know we have Pi teachers that M&P teachers that haven't graduated Pi, so I still have to go through and check this, but I wanted you guys to know that's the way, that really the most efficient and easiest way to manage who can see the Pi stuff. Let's go down here. Let's take a quick look at the, where's the Pi? The Pi study group. Here's the Pi study group. Right click on the heading, edit category, look at the permissions. Okay, admin and Pi grads are the only ones that can see in there or do anything in there. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. What I'm doing right now is I'm resetting the Pi permissions to the default with their role. Okay. Okay, so we got Pi grads, Pi weekly study group, Pi grads, admin. That's it. If you're a teacher, if you have a teacher role or any of those other roles, as long as you have Pi, you can still get in here. Okay. Oops. And everyone should still all be locked down. I still have to go through and check some of these. Save those changes. Let's Pi weekly study group. Let's double check it. Permissions, everyone. Admin has their default permissions, and Pi grads have their default permissions. Okay. Pi study group resources. We'll do it a little different. We're gonna take teachers out. Pi grads, because it's resources, can only read messages and read message history. And of course, admin has all their default rights. Okay, see how that works? Oh, I gotta get out of here. What am I doing in there? Pi audio permissions is going to be synced up there. Wednesday night M&P. Oh, I don't want to do that. Wednesday night M&P. Let's see what we did in there. Edit category. We've got Pi grads, M&P Pro, everyone, all with their default permissions. And so we go in here, we see that all the defaults are set. In the resources, you see for Pi grads and M&P, we don't give them the right to clutter things up with emojis and whatnot. And here, everyone has the default permissions to get on the audio. That's how it works. If you decide to change this, go to the heading, edit category, and you decide, well, I think the newbies should be in there. Well, I don't think the newbies should be in there. If the newbies can be everywhere, why have newbies? They're newbies. That's the whole point. Keep them kind of contained and then let them out into the M&P Pro where they can see all this other stuff. If the newbies can go everywhere, we don't need the newbies category. But let's suppose for whatever reason Catherine disagrees and she wants to put the newbies in here, and that's fine. I'm not gonna have no drama over that. Then all she has to do is click here and add newbies. Newbies not in the list. I don't know why that is, but she would just start typing it in, and then she could add it in. I'm going to remove it for right now. If you did that, then for this group, you have to go back to each one of these permissions and hit sync again. Go to the next one. You probably won't have to change it because it's custom. Go to this one, permissions, hit sync again. That's the way to do it. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, ask me. I have a little bit of going through here and double checking things and make sure everything's just right. But if we can manage these in that way, boy, it works really good. Let's give you one more look at it. Events, edit category, permissions, PyGrads, M&P, newbies, admin, everyone, all with default permissions. Go in here and look at permissions, all the default permissions, all set to sync with the heading events. Hope that's helpful. I think it makes managing this a whole lot easier. So if we can follow those guidelines, start with your roles, the roles. Now, let me mention one more thing. Let's suppose, okay, I think that you get to the roles through the server settings like that, roles, and I think Catherine and I discussed not letting people mention everyone. We discussed that. Let's don't have it. Everybody's using everyone all the time. We may change our minds. We kind of went back and forth about it. I go back and forth about it. Haven't really decided one way or the other. The other way to do it would be give everybody mention everyone permissions, and then just kind of encourage them to use that sparingly. We haven't decided yet. Suppose we decide that all the PyGrads, M&P, and newbies can mention everyone. All you have to do is go to the role, change it, save it. Now all those M&P grads can mention everyone now. Okay, that's kind of the whole point of everything. Is so once you get your channel set up with the roles in there that you want, if you want to change their permissions, just go to that role and change it. Makes it very, very clean, easy, and efficient. Okay, I got work to do or I'm going to get in trouble. And so I'm going to stop and try and get this posted up here pretty soon. And hope it's useful. Bye.